Okay, so let's move on. As I was saying, it is important to protect. It is important to protect these pages where you require users to log in so that they cannot be accessed unless a user has legitimately logged in really. So that is what I want us to do next. Let me just reopen this so that we can have nope. Okay, so to do that, to do exactly that, for me, I normally create a different connection page, a different database connection page for pages that you must have been logged in order for you to access. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to copy this code, then create a new page, paste it, then save it. Maybe I can call it login. I'm a logged underscore in underscore db underscore connection, like that. Then I can choose the PHP. Can choose the PHP option. I don't know why it's escaping me so much today. Okay, there. So I will just save this. So when I save it, then I have that. And really, after checking the database connection, I wanted to check whether the user is logged in. Check whether the user is logged in. So to do that, I can just use if is set. If is set. So I want to check, just for example, when you log in, we set this session, this one. I just want to see whether this session is set, the first name. So if that is set, and now I want to convert that to not. So if it's not set, the first name session, if it's not set, then I want to redirect this user, maybe here. So copy, then paste, like that. So if I save this, if I save that, then I include this page in my index page. So on all the other pages where people are supposed to be logged in, this is the page that I'm going to be including. So the page is called logged underscore in db underscore con, like that. So that is what I have. So let me save it. So now if I go back to index.php and refresh it, it should take us to login.php because we are not logged in. So even if I type here again, index, if I type on the address bar index.php, so it's just gonna redirect us to login until we log in. If we log in, then we're gonna stay. But if we've logged out and we try to access index, it just takes us back to the login. Again, for the last time, index.php just takes us back because we've already destroyed the session. So ladies and gentlemen, so far we have been able to cover the release, Mysqli release, Mysqli Close, Super Globals, and Logout. So now we can look at the PHP user-defined function. Now here, we really want to change our code a little bit. How so? You see, most of the time when we are saving data to the database, we have to sanitize it. And we are sanitizing it by removing or replacing HTML characters with HTML special characters. And before we save it in the database, we are also using MySQLi. Did we use MySQLi? MySQLi. Where? Did we do that, by the way? We didn't do it here. Insert into. Did we use the MySQLi sanitization function? It's like we didn't use it. Or did we use it on the login? Let me see. I think we just used it on the login. We used it in the login page, MySQLi rel escape string, but we did not use it. We did not use it in the sign up on the sign up page. But on the login page we used it. So now what we want to do is to create a page called myfunctions.php. So Control N, and then I'll just do the PHP tag, PHP, like that, and then I'll save it, Control S. Then I just want to call it my_functions.php. Then I can just click save, like that. So we learned about functions, and this first function is a function to sanitize user data. Function to sanitize the user data. So here we can do a little bit of Googling. Maybe Google something like PHP function to sanitize user inputs. Okay, so let's have a look. These are just let's have a look at Stack Overflow. We might have a better discussion here from experienced experts. So you see, this one is asking, is there a cat child function somewhere that works well for sanitizing user input for SQL injection and cross-site scripting attacks while still allowing certain types of HTML tags? So we have several answers. This one has the highest upvotes. So let's see, does he give a particular function or it just gives explanations? Okay. I thought he will give a particular function, but it's okay. For ours, so you can read more about this, but for ours, in our function, we just want to include two functions, HTML special chars and MySQLi rel escape string. So those are the two that we want to use to sanitize data in our user-defined functions. But you can read more about other functions that you can use to sanitize data. So when you get time, please read more about that. But in the meantime, because in our code, in the login, we've used HTML special chars and we've used MySQLi rel escape string. So let me just copy this. So here on my function, we want to create a function and we want to call it sanitize. I hope it's not a keyword. Yes, it's not a keyword. If it was a keyword, it could be highlighted with color blue, like the function, this name here. So this is how we create a function using the function keyword, and then you give it a name. And then here, we want to give it a variable. We just want to say data, data to be, or we can just leave it as data or something. Okay, so here we want, so that variable data is going to receive the data that we pass it. And let me paste this here. So we just want to say, we want, first of all, we want to, the data that it receives, we want it to be taken through that function, my HTML special chars, then taken through this function. So data here, because we are calling DB connect, we need to include the database connection. So we can go back to login here and we copy this, copy, and we paste it up here. So we're just requiring DB connect so that we can take care of this. Then the next thing will be to return. So we just return the data. Return data, like that. So that's exactly what we are doing. We've just created a user-defined function. It's gonna take the data, we pass it through this function and through this function. Then it's going to return to us the sanitized data. So let me just save this, then go back to our login page. The first thing we need to do is to include that particular page. Then do we, if we are going to include it below this, then we do not need this. We do not need this. So we can just delete this. Let me delete it, save it. And then we're always going to include our functions just before the database connection, or after, just after. So require the function, user-defined functions page. So we just do require my underscore function.php, just like that. Then we close it with a semicolon. So now we have this function. We have this, it's gonna paste all the functions that are here. They're gonna be pasted in this our page. Then now we come back here. So instead of sanitizing the email this way, having 2 lines of code, we're just going to say here, we just call the sanitize. We call the sanitize, function. How to call a function? You just call the name, sanitize, like that. Then you pass it the email. So it's going to return the sanitized email. So we do the same for the password. I hope I've spelled that correctly. So password. Like that. So this email is going to be passed to the function. The function is this one, sanitize. It's going to be passed there, then returned back, like that. So that's how we use a user-defined function to sanitize data. So we can do the same thing for the other page, but before we do that, let's just test this and see whether it works. So before we do it to the registration page, so I can just refresh this. We have an error. Require my function, no such file. Let's see. So require my underscore function.php. Oh, it's called functions. It's functions. So that's a good error there. So we can just add the S there, then we save, and then we refresh. Okay, and now we are good to go. So I can just log in with my username there. Okay. So again, we have an error on the login page, undefined variable db connect on line 6. Let me see on which page my functions. Okay. So okay. So they're saying this variable is foreign on this page. So let me just return the code that I had deleted to require the database connection on that page. But that will mean I have two database connections. Let's just see how this works. Let me have that there. Save it. Then maybe refresh this. Let me enter the password and define variable db connect on line 8. My functions.php. What might be the problem here? I need to solve this problem first before I even look at any other. My functions.php. db connect. This db connect. Let's click on a db connect. Okay. Alternatively, I can copy this and just copy the whole of this, but this is not a good practice. Let me see whether it's going to remove that error. We just want to remove that error. First thing we want to do is to remove that error. There's something I'm not doing right. Login. Just a moment. My SQLI real escape string. Let me just paste this. Let me just paste this there just for a moment. And we have a look. If that connection is there, is the error going to disappear? Let me save that. Let me refresh. Login. Okay. So now the error has disappeared. The error has disappeared when I put the connection here directly. I don't know why that variable is not working. It's supposed to be working. It is supposed to be working. Because we can't put on, we can't keep on putting this, because if we transfer this database to the to another hosting provider, these details will change, like the username and the password. So this is not the correct way of doing it. But for now, let's just leave it. Let's just leave it as that. So as you can see, we are able to log in. We are able to log in successfully. So we are supposed then to do the same thing on the sign up page. So on the sign up page, we begin by including this, my function. We can paste it there. Then after that, we can sanitize the data here. So instead of just calling this, we call sanitize, which is a user-defined function, sanitize. For the surname, we also call Sanitize. For the phone number, we also call Sanitize, just like that. For the email, we also call Sanitize. Like that. For the password, we call Sanitize, and instead of HTML, special char. Okay, so just like that. So let me save. Then we go to our sign up page and test whether it's working. So let me just log out, and then I come here. We don't have a link to the sign up, but we are supposed to create it. So sign up.php. Let's create a someone else. Maybe Jane. 0752233311. Email maybe jwafula@gmail.com. Password 1234. Yes, we agree to the policy. Sign up. Successful. So it works. And we can log in with jwafula@gmail.com. 1234. So we have Jen. So what we've just done is to sanitize our data using the user-defined function sanitize that we just created on this page. So that's really what you do. That is what you do whenever you have something that you need to use on different pages. You create a function. Then that function is saved on an external file, and you include or require that file on that other page. So that's a very important technique that you've learned right there. Please make sure to remember it. Let me just cut this. Maybe I just call it con for connection, or db con, and then I paste it here. So db con. So we should also change when we transfer this to the hosting provider. Other than changing the db connection file, we should also change this line on the my functions file. So I hope this is still going to work. Let me just test it by logging out. Then I try to log in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's not working. Why? Undefined variable. Is it the variable scope or something? Can I make it a global variable so that we can use it inside the function? I think that is what I should do. And we actually learned about that. So PHP global variable. You created it using the global super globals. global super globals here. So I think the problem with that has been the variable scope. Like we are trying to use that variable inside, we are trying to use it inside the function, and it's like it's not possible unless we use the globals. The globals super global. So here we're just going to, let me check the syntax again. Haina underscore. So it's just let me just copy it. Copy. Just copy. Paste. So here we have dbcon. So we just want to be able to access this variable inside the function. So that's what we are doing. So save. I think now it should work. That was a nice hiccup. So let me just refresh. Then my username, password. Didn't I save this? I actually saved it. How come? I misspelled it. Globals. Does it have an underscore? No. Oh, I've seen where the problem is. Okay, so we are not supposed to use the, you can see here, if it is X, you don't use the $sign, just use X or Z or Y, like that. So we're just supposed to use dbcon, like that. So let me save, and now really it should work. Refresh. So good, now it works. So at least we have not learned about this super global, but the situation has forced us to learn about it. So I hope you've understood how to use it. That was a good one. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want us to take a short break. And then when we come back, we can begin from the next step, which is just clearing. I want us to clear this page. I want us to clear it so that we now start putting in things that we want, including the menu items here. We just want to change them and clear them a little bit. So that is what we're going to do in the next video. Otherwise, for now, thank you very much. Let's meet on the next video.